I'm back with New Yorker Joseph Bolanos. We're talking about FBI raids on his mom's apartment. But Joe, there was also a raid simultaneously on your apartment. Now, you weren't there. You were at your mom's apartment. But what's I think great is that you were able to get camera footage of the actual FBI raid on your apartment. Now, you didn't get it because the FBI wanted you to get it. In fact, in the footage itself, you see these FBI guys coming running up your stairs. You see them cut a piece of tape or some kind of, and then they cover up the Ring camera. Let's talk about why that is significant, because they obviously didn't want to leave any trace of what they were doing or what they were about to do. And right there's a question if what they're doing is all kosher, if it's all legal, if it's all by the book. Why would they want to hide a record of it?
Yes, exactly. They did the same thing in Mar-a-Lago when they raided, and they told them to turn off the security system, and the lawyer said no. I mean, I mentioned this in the movie, that if you're doing a legal process and you're entering a private property, what do you have to hide? If anything, having cameras is better because it relieves them of any accusations that can be brought up during the raid. But not in this case. In this case, they made an attempt to cover and when I was in the car being interrogated, they were in communication with the people at my apartment saying, what other cameras do you have? Where are they? And they disconnected them. Later, I found them to be disconnected when I got out of the hospital. But yeah, it was interesting because here they thought they had, covered the camera, and it hadn't been. The secondary camera captured everything.
Well, this is the point. You outwitted them, and you and I were chuckling about the fact that when this is revealed in the movie that you had another camera they didn't know about, the peephole itself was a camera. And I mean, for me as a filmmaker, this was actually great because, as you know, we have some recreations in the movie, and we try to do those with, clinical accuracy, but there's no substitute for this is the actual FBI, and the guy you see is a real FBI agent. You can see his face on the camera, and you can see what he's doing, and you can see them pull a battering ram, and they all get behind it, and then they go smashing through your door. I mean, for me, viewing the movie, it's really fascinating because it's almost like I'm inside your apartment. And from inside your apartment, I have sort of this kind of X-ray vision. I can see through the door what they're doing, then I can see them come through the door. So it's wonderful. I mean, it brings the audience right into the scene itself. And I mean, this is a terrible violation of you, and with no cause whatsoever. I mean, they don't have probable cause. They have nothing except this kind of snitch who calls them. I mean, it would seem that you should have some kind of recourse, some ability to challenge them, to sue them. Now, you say in the movie, like, I'm an ordinary citizen. Like, how can I go up against the U.S. government? Talk a little bit about that.
Well, what happened was the first year after the raids happened, I was really concerned about my health. I really wasn't thinking legal-wise or making any decisions. But from the first year afterwards, I started to look up attorneys in New York, federal attorneys, people who had experience, and they either wanted $250,000 for a retainer, which was really prohibitive, or they flatly refused to take on the Southern District Court of the U.S. Attorney's Office and the D.C. Court in Washington because it was so biased. So I'm still in a position. I had hoped that I would meet somebody in Mar-a-Lago, but, there were a couple of leads, but they haven't panned out. But, I just have to be patient. There's got to be a 7-year statute of limitations. So if this happened in 2021, I have till 2028 to probably find some legal representation because I'll never run again. To put my pants on takes sometimes 10 minutes. I use a cane. I live in a 5-floor walk-up. Sometimes it takes me 15 minutes to get downstairs. My life has been changed and destroyed by what happened. Somebody should be accountable. And do you know that when I was trying to get my property back, I couldn't even get the name of the prosecuting U.S. attorney? I mean, don't I have the right to face the person who issued the search warrant? I mean, it is so upside down that I really think that I'm living in some third world country where I don't have any rights. I mean, where's my right to a free assembly, peaceful assembly, freedom of speech? I mean, this was such a warp of what we believe in that I don't know where to find somebody that has, the courage to stand up for me, because you always hear about guilty people that get representation. What about the innocent people? Who do they go to?
I mean, Joe, interestingly, the guilty people don't seem to have any trouble. I mean, think, for example, you mentioned 9/11. Think about all those guys who have been apprehended in the aftermath of 9/11. These are Al-Qaeda guys. And guess what? Top New York law firms are representing them. Their situations in Guantanamo. They've got top-notch attorneys arguing on the basis of civil liberties for
free dental,
free dental, all kinds of amenities. And here you are trying to find a lawyer. You also mentioned. Well, let's take a pause. When we come back, I'll ask you about this in our final segment with Joe Bolanos. During times of economic uncertainty and political upheaval, it's crucial to have a reliable source of financial guidance and insight. And this is where Dr. Kirk Elliott, PhD, and his esteemed wealth management advisory firm come into play. Dr. Elliott has distinguished himself with 2 PhDs in economics and theology. He's built a reputation in expert financial solutions tailored to your unique needs. His firm specializes in wealth management, offering a comprehensive array of services to protect and grow your assets in an ever-changing world. In an environment with economic volatility, shifting political landscapes, finding a trusted partner during these challenges is essential. Dr. Elliott's firm employs cutting-edge strategies and a deep understanding of markets to guide you toward financial success. Go to KirkElliottPhD.com. That's Kirk Elliott, 2 L's, 2 T's. KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh. Book an appointment. They will walk you through their investment process. That's KirkElliottPhD.com/Dinesh, or you can call or text. Here's the number. Write it down. 720-605-3900. 720-605-3900.